Welcome to the Echo Sportscast, number 25.
I'm Laura Mady, filling in for Dave Dale.
And I'm Paul McLean. On today's show, we've got highlights from the NOSA Hockey Boys and Girls Championships that were held in North Bay this week,
as well as highlights from OFSAA Volleyball, where both Scollard and Chippewa teams were competing.
OFSAA Boys Basketball was held at West Ferris, with the Trojans competing as well.
Our feature spotlight was Kathleen Garvey. Lots of interesting talk around flag football, Canada recruitment, and an interesting trip to an international roller derby event.
We're going to talk about the women's Lakers hockey team's round one win and preview their second round matchup against Waterloo.
And we had our year-end Hockey for Beginners Jamboree at the Gardens this past weekend. So we'll touch on some highlights from that day.
All of that and more after a word from our sponsor, North Bay Toyota.
It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota. Attention truck lovers. Have you been Tundra struck? The powerful and dependable Toyota Tundra is the new definition of grit. Ask us about amazing lease deals on a 2025 Tundra Double Cap SR 4-wheel drive and experience ingenious levels of capability, technology, and refinement. Or maybe you're an SUV lover? Take advantage of a limited shipment of 2025 RAV4s and discover the perfect blend of style, comfort, and efficiency in a compact SUV that ignites your desire to explore. Right now, get excellent lease deals on the Toyota RAV4 LE all-wheel drive and more. It's time to Toyota at North Bay Toyota, 640 McEwen, or online at northbaytoyota.com for details.
So this past week, NOSA Hockey Championships were held in North Bay on Monday and Tuesday at Memorial Gardens and Pete Pelangio Arena. The St. Joseph-Scollard Hall women's hockey team was able to bring home a big 2-1 win over Llewellyn, and that had goals scored both by Jade White and a great game by Kaylee Lang in net, and that qualifies the girls to go to OFSAA. AAA OFSAA is going to be held for girls hockey March 18th to the 20th in Aurora. As well, the boys team also qualified to go to OFSAA despite not winning, but they had a good showing, and they're going to go down to the AAA OFSAA in Windsor the same March 18th to the 20th. Scollard is going to be holding a pasta fundraiser March 27th from 6 till 8. You can either dine in or take out, and all the funds raised are going to go help cover some of the costs for both teams to head down to their respective offices.
So we were able to check out the OFSAA happening this week at Canadore Gym and Canadore Dome. It was hosted by Chippewa. Chippewa and Scollard both had a team playing. We checked out the semifinals today. They had to move the games to the Dome due to a leaky roof at the gym, at Canadore Gym.
Yeah. Got a little conversation with Graham Loist on our way in, and because you had seen it on the website that they made that last second change, but it was great that they were able to do that. So I guess a little leak in the corner, so they couldn't have two courts, and so they were able to move it to the Dome, and they're still going to play the finals, or the finals were played at Canadore on their game court, center court, where they had everything set up. But yeah, we watched really two exciting semifinal games when we were in the Dome, and we got to see Oak Ridge finish off Aurora, and then we were also watching a really exciting game between ESC Champlain from Chelmsford against Oak Ridge from London.
Yeah, no, it was really exciting. I think Canadore's first big, provincial event that happened in the Dome.
Yep.
Lots of people out, loud.
Very loud, yeah.
It does carry, yeah.
Well, and even like when you guys were there, so we had baseball, so we've picked the Panther team, so we were kind of having the introduction night, and we did uniform sizing, a little bit of skills practice. They were doing some radar gun stuff and things, but yeah, it was loud. And you guys were in the opposite end of where the volleyball was. Yeah,
and you could hear it just as close as right next to the court. But it's also the nature of volleyball with the cheering after every point. And which is great, but it is quite loud.
Yes. Yeah, I can remember. It's funny, I think I told you too, like that Oak Ridge team has a really strong volleyball tradition, both for boys and girls. And I can remember when I was in high school, like that was the team that came out of London. So if you could play well against them, you stood a pretty good chance. So we'll be it'd be exciting to see who comes out on top of that. Amazing that a team from NASA is in the finals because we saw some great volleyball.
Yeah, very talented players.
Chelmsford is definitely, I guess, a volleyball hotbed of the North right now. So moving on to OFSAA basketball. So the Chippewa Ravens were actually in Kingston for their AAA OFSAA, and while they had some good showings, weren't able to qualify into the finals, but had a great season, and I think they had a really exciting time and a nice way to end that off. And then the OFSAA basketball AA was held at West Ferris, and West Ferris ran into some tough competition and weren't able to make it in the finals. But we stopped in and saw some great basketball.
I think it was the semifinals, eh?
Semifinals, and we saw the number one ranked Thousand Islands versus McNabb.
Yeah.
And you have an interesting little tidbit of information about the number one ranked team.
It was number 1 seed versus number 5 seed. The number 1 seed, what's the name? Sorry. McNabb. They went, I think, 48-0 this season, but they couldn't have their 2 best players and coach play in this year's OFSAA because of an altercation at last OFSAA. Yeah. So they were losing in the semifinals. So
so the final went 7 p.m. At Ferris on the Wednesday night, so we don't have the results right now while we're recording, but it was a loud gym in there too, despite it being a snow day. So
yes, exactly.
It seemed like any student that was maybe in the school and teachers were in there, but there was also a lot of traveling fans too. So it was, again, great job by both organizing committees to put that on. I'm sure it was a lot of work finding enough hotel rooms for 2 OFSAAs and
action-packed in the Bay this week. Lots of coach buses around.
Yeah. So huge news from OFSAA swimming. Grade 12 star student athlete Annabelle Jackson has won a silver medal at the OFSAA Swimming Championship in Toronto. Annabelle was seeded 3rd in the preliminaries and decided to kick it up for the final. Annabelle swam a personal best of 26.14 seconds in the 50-meter freestyle race to win the silver. Additional congratulations to Abigail Betzel and Lily Lyle for getting their first OFSAA swimming experiences in the 100-meter backstroke and the 50-meter breaststroke, respectively. Abigail swims on Thursday in the 200-meter medley. Annabelle wins another silver medal at OFSAA with a personal best swim in the 100-meter freestyle. Annabelle's time of 57.56 seconds is super impressive. This is Annabelle's 2nd silver medal in as many days, and she establishes herself as one of the best swimmers in the province.
That's really impressive.
It is, and we were just kind of talking off air. Obviously, I'm going to assume she's a member of the Titans swim team, and we were just discussing that the Titans, swim out of our YMCA and have a great program, and they do all of that despite being in a pool that was built 5 meters too short.
Why? Why were they why?
Why? So my understanding of it, this is one of those things that I just want to get to the bottom of and love to hear the actual answer, but I believe it had to be to make room for the therapy pool that they had there.
Okay. That
or
makes
the splash
sense.
land,
Something like that.
But the unfortunate part about that is to have official races, you need either a 50-meter pool or at least a 25.
Right.
So I know that's a problem that the Titans run into.
Yes.
I think in host rinks, or meets, but I don't think they're official. So,
where's the closest official size?
Sudbury. So, and I know that pool is even in a bit of danger because of everything that went on with Laurentian's finances and stuff over the years.
Okay.
And I think just the age of the pool too. So maybe when we can find a way to get North Bay a new rec facility, not just twin pad, but something that maybe has a field house for some of our great volleyball, maybe we can squeeze a pool in there that's the right size.
So the new sign at Source for Sport, Paul, it says, check out our rack, ... of bats. What's with that?
I thought that the sign game was about being funny and trying to catch people's attention.
The sign.
It is.
Well, there was our sign wars.
There were, yeah. So I was just trying to ramp it up and be a little funny and catch some people's attention. We've got lots of great bats, and we have a very big bat rack. It's a bat rack I'm quite proud of. They're hard to get anymore from DeMarini. It looks like a big chain link fence, and we're loaded with bats because all the kids are coming in and getting ramped up for the season. So,
there you go.
But I will. I should recognize that as a father of daughters, and in a world of both female and male sports, that maybe check out our bat racks is inappropriate. So, yeah.
So come down to Source for Sports and check out our rack.
And if you have any better suggestions for what I should put on the sign,
I don't know,
please.
like bat sale?
Bat sale or come see the Batman? I don't know.
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
So for our spotlight interview, please take a listen to Kathleen Garvey and her everything that's going on in Canadore, both from recruiting for students to come to the school as well as athletes.
Flag football, she talked about, some hockey.
Yep.
Lots of exciting stuff that she's doing. Very involved in the community.
Again, just another great young person like yourself.
Yeah.
New people came to school and stayed, and having a big impact. So it's great.
An exciting trip to Austria to check out some international roller derby.
Yeah.
So excited to see how that goes.
Can't wait. Her friend representing Team Greece. So that'll be really good. And we have to educate ourselves a little bit more on roller derby.
Today we have Kathleen Garvey on our podcast today. She's an exceptional young professional in North Bay, multi-sport athlete, big women's sport fan. So we'll hear about some Canadore stuff and just her background. Welcome, Kathleen.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in, Garvey, and thanks for being available to be such a great sport on short notice.
Of course. Happy to be here.
So we ran into you at OFSAA Volleyball today that was being held at the Dome, and Canadore has been playing a huge part in helping put that on that Chippewa is hosting. Can you tell us a little bit what's been going on?
So right now we have girls volleyball at the Dome and at College Drive in the gymnasium. And we also have boys basketball being hosted at West Ferris. And then in the fall, West Ferris also hosted girls basketball. So having the Dome has definitely opened up a lot of sport hosting opportunities. Yeah. And it's just really excited to have all these teams here, both from, sport perspective, but also from a recruiting perspective as well.
Which I think that rolls in really well. So the many hats you wear at Canadore, recruitment is big. So and a big part of that. So maybe for people that don't know what you would do in that role of recruiting and how and where that takes you.
So in recruiting, I even wear kind of two hats. So my current role, my full-time job at the college is recruitment and liaison officer. So I go out on the road for about 10 weeks in the fall, going to college fairs all over Ontario, doing presentations in high school, recruiting high school students to come to Canadore. But I also coach our women's flag football team. Mm-hmm. So I'm also looking at athletes to recruit. So even, volleyball players, if they want to try a different sport when they come to college, that's kind of who I'm looking for.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
And how are things going? Tell us about the flag football program. So you're going to go into year...
So we are wrapping up year 2.
Yep.
I started the program as just kind of a learn the sport, try it out kind of thing. I played flag football when I was at McMaster in the off season, when I was playing rugby as well. Back then it was only contact flag, so it was 11 on 11. So,
nice.
And of course, as a rugby player, I played O-line and D-line because that's where the only contact is. But I noticed in the OFSAA League, so that's Ontario Women's Intercollegiate Football Association, that Sheridan College had joined. So as soon as I saw that, I never assumed that colleges were able to participate, but as soon as I saw that Sheridan had put a team in the league, I said, we're in, right?
So, and I'm sure, and we see you practicing in the Dome all the time, so that's amazing for the girls.
Yes, the Dome is definitely a game changer for us to be able to continue to practice. Right now, technically, we're in our off season, but starting off with 12 girls in the gymnasium, trying to do, some football drills, like basic footwork, just learning how to, throw, catch, pull flags, kind of the basic skills to, this past season we had 25 girls try out. is really phenomenal, and having the proper facility is really helpful as well.
What's a typical season for them? Like games, practices, you guys go away, you host games?
Yeah, so we are categorized as a club team at Canadore. So that means we play more tournament style, and that's the way that the league is set up anyway. But there are other sports at Canadore that fall under the club category. So this year we started tryouts the second week of September pretty much, with practices twice a week. For us, because there isn't flag football in all high schools, a lot of that is just kind of teaching the basic skills, which isn't too difficult because a lot of our players are, they come from a multi-sport background. And I always say, you really only need one or two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And if you can't catch, you go on defense.
Okay.
So, and that's what I really like about it, both as a player, but also as a coach, is that it's really easy to learn, and it's really good for multi-sport athletes, especially now that we compete in the 5-on-5 division. The 11-on-11 does exist, but we're not there yet. So.
Yeah. I think we were talking about that at the hockey game, and I was asking you questions, and 11-on-11 kind of stumped me too, because I was like, what do you do with, I don't know, like 14 of the people on the field? But if they're protecting and doing all that makes a lot of sense.
You have an event this weekend, eh?
Yeah, so Alyssa Dean, she is actually now the head coach. I had to step down as head coach because of my job in recruitment.
Of course.
Because our season is in the fall and my busy season is in the fall. So that was definitely a challenge for me personally this year, is, being away from the team, but also loving, talking to so many students and just saying, sharing my own experience as a Canadore student. But we're going out to Welland this weekend to do some recruiting. There's going to be OFSAA's hosting a combine.
Amazing.
So we're going to go on our first official flag football recruiting trip, which will be exciting.
That's pretty cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
We could host a local combine.
Yeah, with the Dome, absolutely. Yeah, that's something that we're thinking of and going to put in the works for probably spring.
Okay.
Maybe sometime in May.
North Bay Echo is proud to partner with Twigs Coffee Roasters, a part of the community since 1995. Twigs offers a wide selection of quality beans, fresh roasted in-house every day. Find your favorite specialty drinks at our espresso bar, rejuvenate with freshly squeezed juice, or treat yourself to mouth-watering selections from our gourmet deli. And don't forget our irresistible fresh baked goods, including uncompromising gluten-free options. Twigs has 5 locations to serve you, from North Bay to Sturgeon Falls to Sudbury. Order online for pickup at twigs.ca. And coming soon, you'll be able to order fresh roasted coffee beans direct to your doorstep from our distribution center in North Bay.
Moving on to university sports and the Nipissing Lakers women's hockey team. So we got to watch Friday night's elimination game.
Yep.
Took care of Queens with no problem.
Yeah, they won 5-2. I think Mallory Dominico got 2 goals. Madison LeBurge got 3 points. They're 2 for 2 on power play.
Yeah.
They're just in it to win it.
It was a solid game. They definitely are back on track after maybe stumbling a little bit.
Yeah.
So now that draw. So the time this is going to come out on Friday, they'll have played
their first game against Waterloo
is Wednesday, or happened Wednesday. So we won't know about that until. But we're going to go Friday and check it out. And they're playing Waterloo, who traditionally gives them a bit of a challenge.
So they finished second in the West Conference. They just beat Laurier in 2 to get to this series. Yep. They're also hosting nationals this year, so they already have their ticket to nationals. So there's always 2 teams from the OUA that go to nationals, but this year is the case of the host and +1. So
interesting too, because this is the weird year we keep looking at the crossover round. So there could be 2 East teams in the final or 2 West teams.
Yes, technically that could be the case. So Nipissing's got to win it all if they want to go.
They got to get in through the front door. There's no back door this year.
Yeah, they have UFT and Guelph playing in the other series, so we'll see what happens.
So those are all, perennial contenders in OUA women's hockey. Like those are the strongest.
Yeah, they're all great clubs, great programs. So
who were some of the teams you guys met in playoffs ultimately, like at the finals, and then even like ones where you didn't quite meet?
Western a lot. And then Guelph. I remember Guelph is the team we lost our OUA finals to. Yeah, which is, it's a one game. That's a whole wild. Like it should we play 3 game series, and then the last game is just a one game. It doesn't make sense. And Guelph is a Olympic size ice, so it's just they know that game, that their ice better than ours. So
I actually remember. I think the Western game, was that like a double overtime or something?
No, I think it was like 4 overtimes.
Okay,
I'm not. Yeah, something just ridiculous. And
I remember being in like Florida on, I don't know if it was March break or what it was, but we were there and I was watching it on a laptop or whatever. I couldn't believe, and that was, I'm sure, heartbreaking. Yeah. But
so Waterloo will be a good series. Exciting to see what happens there.
And remind me what happened against Waterloo this year.
So I don't think they won this year.
Yeah.
I think they lost the one game in a shootout, and then the other games they lost.
Because they had a really good record on the road, and it was kind of the home games where they seemed to struggle a bit. So
so
hopefully this will be the other side of it. Now they know Waterloo's tendencies, and they've had some time to scout them. So hopefully it'll be a great win. And then by the time we're on next week, we'll be talking about their trip to the finals.
So this Sunday we wrapped up our Hockey for Beginners Jamboree at the Gardens. It was an action-packed morning. It was like a 2-hour event. We had all of our kids on the ice in 3 different time slots. We had Timbits, hot chocolate,
medals. So big thanks to Ken Coughlin and Brandon Moffat for supplying us with enough hot chocolate and Timbits to feed a small army, and those kids really went after it. Brandon, if you could maybe look into that hot chocolate thing, though, I think it might be time to replace it because it basically went down my leg.
Yeah, my white shoes are brown now, Brandon.
But we do really appreciate, again, Tim Hortons is such a generous sponsor. So the medals that we have were provided from Tim Hortons, the jerseys that they wear, and again, for Ken and Brandon to step up like that. Also, a huge thanks to Adam Dennis and everybody with the battalion. They had the tank inflated for the kids to be able to skate out of, which was a big excitement for the kids. A couple kids that were a little afraid of it.
Well, they'd had the lights off, music on, so I think it was just a little intimidating for them, but the other kids were just flying through it.
Yeah, so the kids were able to get a dressing room tour, and then as well, there was some discounted tickets for kids to come to the game in the afternoon. Just an all-around great day. It's the second time that we've been able to do this, and I think it really built on the success of last year. And again, you just did an amazing job getting everything organized. I've been getting lots of compliments from all the parents and everybody talking about what a great program it is. So it was a really exciting year, and also don't want to leave out the Nipissing Lakers,
of course,
the players that
we had
were able
both
to
men's and women's there on Sunday helping out. The men's helped us all season, and of course our volunteer coaches. We wouldn't be able to do it without our coaches who come.
So again,
every week.
Big thank you to Alan Obu and Scott Carr, and then Sydney Olson.
Madison Garrigan. And Ryan Neal.
Oh, yeah. Great program, and we appreciate all the support that we get, and we're looking forward to coming back next year with maybe a few tweaks to the program, looking at just, always trying to find ways to improve it and make sure that we're giving kids of all levels the best experience and the best way for them to enjoy the game and develop. So, look forward to that. I have one last bit that we didn't add in, and it's the U18 AA girls Lakers. Just a heartbreaking end of their season. So past Sunday, they were in Coniston to play Game 3. So they had extended the series. They needed to win the game. They couldn't tie to go on, and this is for provincials. And so they were tied 2-2 in the third period, but without all Sudbury needed was just to hang on for the tie. They pulled the goalie with 13 seconds to go. Just an unbelievable goal. So much excitement, and then that led to a overtime Game 4, I guess. So they played two 10-mins, and then still wasn't decided, so we went to a shootout, 7 rounds of shooters, and Sudbury came away with a win. But one of the more
hard-fought game,
exciting things I've been a part of. As a parent, it's, hard watching, your kids lose, but also know that it was really exciting to be in a moment like that. So it was great. Congratulations to the girls for a great season. We've got one wrap-up tournament in Leaside, and then that we'll get ready for next year.
Yeah. And Brooks' team?
Brooklyn's team as well, as we're recording this, plays Game 2 against Sudbury for playoffs, not provincials, and hopefully they can get a win and extend that and keep going deeper in our playoff series. So
nice.
They picked up a big win last weekend. We had to meet Caledon halfway. Went to Bracebridge, brand new arena, community center, a library and stuff. It was great to be in, and they were excellent hosts. So
nice.
Yeah. So that's our show for our 25th. Thanks,
I got
Laura.
one last.
Okay.
Today, Friday, Paul's birthday. So happy birthday, Paul.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Getting older. Good one.
Yep.
All right,
now you can wrap up.
I'm getting older now. I can wrap up. This has been the Echo Sports Podcast. I'm Paul McLean.
I'm Laura Mady, filling in for Dave Dale.
Great job today, too.
Thanks.
All right, be sure to share, and if you've got any suggestions or ideas, send them to Dave. Okay, have a great weekend.
Bye.